Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JFG Entertainment, and this is my Superman and Lois first 5 episodes review. So today, Superman and Lois is finally coming back, and I'm so happy and hyped for this. It took forever to come back. So I decided to review the first 5 episodes before the sixth one premieres tonight. I have been watching the show weekly, I just didn't review them because I wasn't on YouTube back then, but now I am, so I decided to do the first 5 episodes now, and I will keep reviewing the show as it goes on. So if you haven't subscribed yet, just subscribe so that you can keep seeing breakdowns for Superman and Lois, as well as more things, Marvel, DC, or specifically Superman and Lois in this case. Also, just be aware that this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the series, just know it's worth it, and click off the video and come back to it later, or you can keep watching if you don't care for spoilers. So, without any more to do, let's get started. Let's start from the very beginning of the show, where there's a montage from when Superman got to Earth to present day, with him being married with Lois and having 2 teenage kids, and already having been Superman for a while. So, this montage was incredible. I loved it. It was a great start to the series. It instantly gives me the vibe of that Superman and Lois transmits. It instantly gives you that vibe. Like, that, that montage perfectly sets up the tone and the feeling that you're gonna have while you're watching the show. And also, the music does a fantastic job providing that feeling, and it also helps you feel all the emotions that you're gonna feel while you're watching this montage. Why? Well, the montage starts with just him getting toured, and then as it moves on, you're kind of like happy whenever you see him saying like he's full of surprises and like he breaks the house. That's pretty funny. But then you see, like, just a couple moments later, because this montage is only 4 minutes long. So just a moment later, you see like his dad dying, which you're like, oh no. So you go from really happy to really sad, not to really sad, but to sad, and then after that you go back to happy because whenever he moves to Metropolis and he saves that kid with the cool suit, and he says thanks, so mom made it. It was just super good, super fun. It's perfect Superman. It's exactly what Superman is in the comics, and what he should mostly be. It was just perfect. It captures Superman 100%. So you're like really happy, and then they go to Daily Planet, and he captures Clark Kent perfectly. Like you see him being nervous talking to Lois Lane and all that, and it's just perfect. But then after that, you see them get married, which is just like, oh, they got married. It was a pretty nice scene. The music really helped. It was really good. And then they find out they're having twins, which is also like, oh, like it was super nice, super well done, super cute. And then you find out like one of the kids is super good, but the other one got uh got diagnosed with social anxiety. I think it was social anxiety, something around that. I haven't specifically. I don't remember specifically, but it was something with social anxiety disorder. There we go. He got diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, which was like, oh, dang, that really sucks. And then you go back to present day, like, and then it shows where Superman is now. So it was a super cool montage. It was 4 minutes long. It made you feel different emotions, and it was short, and it did its job perfectly fine. And it also has a really cool transition from the montage to the next scene, was which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. But yeah, this montage is great. Great job to the music, great job to the actors, and it was a perfect start to the show. Now let's move on to the next scene, which is that the scene right after with the transition, which is what the nuclear place about to like blow up, and Superman saving it with the iceberg. That was such a cool scene. It was short and effective. It showed that Superman gives hope to people, that he's always there, that he saves people, and that. And then it has incredible shots. It has incredible shots. His suit looks awesome, and all those shots, like whenever he's standing on top of the nuclear thing, whenever he has the iceberg, it's super cool. Or whenever he's like coming down to the general, and like you see like ice coming out his mouth, and like the cape is moving behind him. It just looks super cool. It's great shots. It was awesome. It's incredible this is in a CW show, and it just feels like a movie, to be honest. So then after that, we see Clark Kent in his life, like his daily life type of thing. You see him like go to house. You see him that he missed an appointment with his son, and that he's gonna go apologize to him. And you see that the Lois is super fast, super rushed. She's talking about through the phone, probably trying to ask questions if I remember right. And at the same time, each one is doing their own things. John is talking to his girlfriend, and Jonathan is playing Injustice 2, which was a pretty cool Easter egg. That was pretty cool. And he apologized and everything, and it was a nice scene. And then we see him call his mom. No, we see his mom call him, which was a super nice scene. It was a super touching scene, like especially from Tyler's acting. It was super sad whenever he went like that, and it do really felt for him, which specifically fits even more to the next scene because whenever in the next scene, whenever he finds out that his mom died, it was incredibly sad. It was super. It was incredibly sad, especially for a character that we really haven't known that much, at least in the series. Since the series just literally started, it was probably like within the first 10 minutes, which is crazy. Or maybe not within the first 10 minutes, but within the first 10 to 20 minutes, which is crazy. We haven't even met this character, and we already feel really bad and really sad for it. And you see him fly really fast, and you see him cry in that scene. And this scene is once again a perfect example of the perfect music or the perfect score, whatever you want to call it, that this show has. Like it had an amazing score. It's really touching. It's really sad, and you really feel for it. But right before that, we also find out that I'm sorry, I'm a little bit over the place because it's so much episodes to cover. But right before that, we find out that Superman or Clark Kent got fired because Morgan Edge took over the Daily Planet now. Which keep that in mind. I will come back later. So yeah, going back to the mom dying. Then they have the funeral in Smallville, and guess who we meet? Lana Lang. Which, if you know Superman in general, you know his character. But if you don't, well, you're introduced to her here, and it was pretty cool. Lana Lang is obviously the person that Clark Kent dated whenever he was in high school, and she has a lot more story, but that's the main thing that she's known for, at least that I know. And yeah, we get to introduce her family. She has a spouse. I think that's what you call, or she has a husband. There you go. She has a husband, and she has two girls, one little one, and then she has Sarah Lang, which is a very surprising character. She actually has a way bigger role in the show than I expected. So, so with Sarah, we see that she is talking to the boys, and apparently they have already met like from last year, but they had only talked for a little bit. And Jordan has a crush on her, and John's making fun of him a little bit, teasing him a little bit. And then they talk, and they can't get really good reception, so they go to the farm, and they try to get the antenna for reception. I'm not sure what it is, but to try to get it fixed, which is on the very high on top. So John offers, no, Jonathan offers to do it, and he goes up, and then whenever he's trying to fix it, well, he falls, and a bunch of metals fall on him, and John jumps on him, and then you see the metals fall, and they look pretty heavy. They look big. So the next scene is Superman or Clark Kent. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call him. It's gonna have little problems, but he comes racing, running super fast, super speed. I mean, to save them, and nothing happened to the kids. Nothing, zero things. Nothing happened to them, which is surprising because they are kids and a bunch of metals just fell on them. Well, they're teenage boys, but a bunch of metals just fell on them. They don't have one single scratch, which was super crazy. And clearly there's something something wrong. Um, and Jonathan and John realize that, and so they start investigating what what is the reason why they're perfectly fine. And they realize that they find a spaceship. They find a spaceship, and which is the spaceship that Clark Kent came in whenever he was a baby. They find it, and we see them come to Clark Kent and ask them what is going on. And Clark Kent reveals his secret identity as Superman, was a very nice scene. Like that scene with him picking the truck, it was just super Superman. It just felt like exactly a perfect shot of Superman, and yeah, I really liked it. But yeah, he revealed his secret identity. The kids got a little mad because they obviously wanted to know. They had the right to know if you're well. You can understand both sides. So yeah, so Jonathan and John go on a party with Sarah since she had invited them, and they go on a party. And at the same time, somebody keeps messing with these nuclear places. So Superman goes and investigates because he finds out that there's somebody in a nuclear place. And who was it? Well, it was this mysterious villain. And they started fighting in a super cool fight. Very nice CGI, which is once again very surprising for a CW show. I know HBO Max is helping with the budget, which is super cool. I hope they can help with more shows like The Flash. But yeah, very cool CGI. And they're fighting through the sky and through space and everything. And at the same time, there's the party scene. Like they keep cutting back and forth between these two scenes. And in the party scene, we see that Sarah and Jonathan are getting close to each other, and then Jonathan goes for a kiss to Sarah, and yeah, what's it called? Sarah has a boyfriend, and he sees that and he pushes him. Sarah was gonna tell Jonathan, but too late now. And so the boyfriend and his friends start beating up Jonathan and John, both of the brothers. But and then at the same time, we have the fight, so it keeps cutting back and forward, really making for great tension in that episode. It was really great, very well done. And then when that happens, Superman loses. He gets stabbed with kryptonite. And he's falling to Earth, and at the same time, Jonathan he sees his brother getting beat up all in the ground, and he uses his lasers. Well, we find out it's a reveal that he has powers, and he uses his lasers and causes fire and explosion. It was a contained explosion, it didn't kill anybody, but it caused an explosion, and basically stops the fight or the people beating up the two brothers. So then Clark Kent survives. Obviously, he's not gonna die in the first episode. He takes off the thing, the kryptonite, and he goes to his kids, and he sees that they're all ready and everything. And yeah, they find out that he has powers and everything, and all that, setting up for like the future episodes. And then at the end of the episode, we get an amazing reveal, which is that the guy that Superman was fighting, which was in the robot suit, it was like a gray suit, takes off his helmet, and we see that his spaceship has like a AI, and it says "Welcome back, Captain Luthor," which was a great reveal. We find out that he's a Luthor, which if you know anything about Superman, that should get you really excited. I was really excited when I saw that, and it was a really shocking moment, and it was a great hook. It was an incredible hook, amazing hook. I loved it. Okay, now to episode 2. After that incredible hook, I had been waiting for the whole week. I was like, okay, what's next? The next one next, and here we go. So in episode 2, Clark takes Jordan to check on his powers in the Fortress of Solitude. If I'm right, if I'm right, that's what it's called. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I think it's Fortress of Solitude. And there, his hologram dad of Clark Kent or Superman is there, and he tests Jordan's powers, and no, Jonathan's powers. Sorry, I cut a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit just my laptop. So I'm sorry, I cut. I just realized I'm mispronouncing one of the kids' names wrong. It was Jordan. That makes a lot more sense. I didn't feel right saying Jonathan. I don't know why I got Jonathan. I said, I'm not even sure. I don't even want to talk about it. But it's Jordan. It's Jordan. Excuse me for getting it wrong. I figured it out. So yeah, they test out Jordan's powers in the Fortress of Solitude, and they found out that he honestly has no powers. Or that he does have powers, but he has very little powers. That you're probably never gonna be able to replicate the lasers again. And yeah, so Jordan Hill hears Kal-El's father saying that he's not special, and he gets mad. So at the same time as that's happening, we see that John Kent is having problems at school. You know what I mean? He's having he's not really feel like he's fitting in. The football team doesn't want him because one of the members of the football team was the boyfriend that Jordan kiss, so obviously he doesn't like his brother. So he doesn't feel welcome. He's having a terrible day or a hard day, honestly, and it's not going really good for him, which really sucks. So whenever they both get back home, they clash. You know what I mean? John is really mad at Jordan because he's just complaining because he doesn't have powers, which is really interesting. You really feel for John. It really is compelling, especially since he had like the perfect life in Metropolis. And oh, I just realized I skipped something, and it's that they moved from Metropolis to Smallville. So yeah, so he had a perfect life in Metropolis, and he let it go all the way to move to Smallville for his brother. So he gets really mad at seeing that Jordan is not really appreciative of that sacrifice that he made for his brother. So yeah, they clash, but Lois stops the clash. You know, what I mean, it was very nice. It was a very nice scene. It was a very well acted scene, and yeah, you really feel for John a lot. And as the episode goes on, what's her name? Lois investigates Morgan Edge. Told you to remember that Morgan Edge comes to Smallville and is trying to mine. I think I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but he's giving jobs in Smallville, and the husband of Lana Lang is really supporting him. Is because he feels like everybody is giving up on Smallville. Everybody just leaves Smallville. Nobody actually is helping Smallville, and Morgan H is taking the risk and giving jobs in Smallville, and it's going to attract more people, and it's going to be good for his city, according to him. And Lois doesn't trust Morgan Edge, so she questions him in the city council, and yeah, there we meet another character, which we will see later. But yeah, we meet a character which apparently runs the paper for Smallville. Remember that? And we'll see her later. So then uh, they go to a barbecue on Lana's house, and there Jordan and Jonathan fix their problems, and what Lois and the husband of Lana, I can't remember his name. I'll check it out a little bit. Uh, so yes, the husband of Lana and Lois clash over this, but it was a soft clash. Like they were just having a conversation, and yeah, it makes sense. Both sides make sense, and yeah, I really like it. At the same time, this episode had a lot of action, which is something I haven't discussed yet, which is with Superman. He keeps fighting Luthor, and then when Luthor actually loses this fight, the spaceship that Luthor has had a bomb on it, and they hope that's an escape for Luthor, and Superman had to stop it and throw it to outer space for it to blow up and all that. So yeah, it was a pretty nice episode with a very nice ending. Very amazing hook. Once again, an amazing ending, which is that Luthor goes to his ship and he's out of kryptonite, and he says he's got to stop Superman before he does what to this world what he did to mine. And then we see like a flashback of Superman killing all the soldiers with laser eyes, which is very interesting, very captivating. It definitely caught my attention. I was like, whoa, okay, I'm really interested on where this plot is going. I loved it. Now let's move on to episode 3. I forgot to mention that at the end of episode 2, Lois gets fired from the Daily Planet because, as we know, Morgan Edge owns the Daily Planet now, so she doesn't like that he's questioning him, so he fires her. And yeah, now let's go to episode 3, which is another good episode. It was a great episode. We see I keep saying Jordan going to school now after they trust him. They give him like a little beat thing, like how Superman. And yeah, they go over there, and he starts playing football with his powers. You know what I mean? And he's destroying everybody. Obviously, he has powers. He has super strength, and he's leaving his brother behind, which kind of sucks to be honest. Like nobody's paying attention to his brother anymore. And he used to be the football guy. Nobody's paying attention to him anymore. They're paying attention to Jordan because of his powers. He keeps beating everybody, and he becomes the best player of the team. We're obviously and very clearly. With this story, we also see that he fixes with I forgot the boyfriend's name, the boyfriend of Sarah. I forgot. I don't remember his name, but he fixes with the problems with him. He squashes the beef, and also, and that was pretty good storyline that keeps going towards the next episode. But yeah, it's kind of messed up that it kind of left John behind. But yeah, let's go on to the next thing, which is that Lois gets Lois goes to get hired. She kind of hires herself. She gets hired in with the person that I told you to remember, that runs the newspapers in Smallville, which was pretty nice. It's only one person though, so that's a lot of work for one person. And yeah, they run it together now, I guess. And she's really trying to investigate Morgan Edge. Super bad, super fast. She's just trying to investigate it all the way through. And yeah, they keep putting impediments like that she still had a contract with uh, the Daily Planet and all that type of stuff to try to stop her from speaking out. But overall, she overcomes these challenges. Now let's move on to Superman, and he has a very nice, interesting story. So he once again fights Luthor. Well, Luthor at the very start of the episode, he's trying to find more kryptonite since he ran out of it. And yeah, so Superman keeps trying to fight Luthor since the General, which is actually Lois's father, uh, the General calls Superman saying that Luthor is at their base where their father is. So he runs really fast, like he flies really fast, and the and Luthor is just trying to talk to the General, General Lane, or no, it's not General Lane. I forgot his name. General something, the father of Lois. And so yeah, Superman and Luthor fight, but overall, Luthor gets to talk to the General, and he tells him that to not trust Superman. He gives him like a thing. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he tells him not to trust Superman, and he plants the seed there just for him not to trust Superman. And yeah, they fight, and Luthor escapes obviously, and Superman finishes and all that type of stuff. Well, Luthor doesn't escape. It was actually a robot. Yeah, Luthor was actually just their voice, so he stops the robot, and yeah, that was pretty much it. And then as the episode goes on, you start seeing more faces of Sarah and the Lang family in general, like Sarah Lang and Lana Lang, and you start seeing more faces of the family, like Sarah tries to kill herself, and she's having to go to therapy and all that type of stuff. We start seeing more faces of that, and we see like this discussion between Sarah and the mother. I'm not really sure where the story is going as of right now, even with the 5 episodes, but I guess we'll find out, right? But yeah. Lana Lang tells Clark Kent that that Jordan joined football, which obviously Clark Kent isn't very happy about. He doesn't want him to use his powers, and yeah, he finds out and he goes over there, and they talk about it, and Clark Kent realizes that yeah, whenever he was young, he wanted to join sports too, and he didn't do it because his father didn't want to, and he didn't want that to be his son. So he's letting him be on football, but with one condition, and that is that he becomes the coach with this really funny gag that was like, "I'll do it for free," and the coach immediately says, "Okay, yeah, we should have started with that." It was super funny, but yeah, he becomes the assistant coach of the football team. Very nice, very cool. It's just gonna merge storylines together. It's gonna merge Clark Kent's storyline closer to the kid's storyline, so that's good. And that's basically the end for the third episode. Now let's go to the fourth episode, and the fourth episode is a really cool episode. It was my least favorite one out of the first four. Out of the first five, it's my least favorite one. Only because they kind of take away focus from Luthor and they put it on Morgan Edge, which I understand, but I would have rather obviously Luthor. I like Luthor a lot more. He's a lot more interesting to me. And they put focus on Morgan Edge because apparently they're experimenting on people, and these people are getting powers. I'm not sure how they're getting powers as of right now, but they're getting powers from Morgan Edge, and apparently there's like a mine in Smallville that lets that happen. Still not sure exactly how that works, but yeah, people are getting powers, and they're focusing on how Morgan Edge is doing that. So that means that Lois' storyline goes front and center in this episode. It was Lois. I really like Lois. And yeah, she's pretty nice at investigating, and she's trying to find out what's going on with Morgan Edge during the whole episode. And at the same time, one of the players in not one of the players, one of the people in Clark Kent, no, not Clark Kent, at John's and Jordan school, Scott Powers, I think, because like he broke his arm and his arm was like shaking the whole time. And then they go to a party, and they kind of like fight, like Jordan and him kind of fight, or like he kind of stops him. I'm not exactly sure what that episode was a little weird to me. It was by far the weirdest one. I don't remember it as much either. It was a little more forgettable. But yeah, they fight it. They don't fight. They try to like stop contain him, which they do. And but before that, the general, the dad of Lois, tells the kids to not call his dad whenever they really don't need him because they don't want doesn't want Superman to get distracted because he's Superman, like he needs to save the world. So yeah, that makes sense from his perspective, but not very nice for the kids. And this goes at the end of the episode, like whenever they should have called their dad, they didn't call their dad, and instead the kid gets out of control, the one that has like the little powers, the powers with the shaking hand. I don't know, that's what I'm gonna call it. And it gets out of control, and Superman has to come and solve it. But it could have gone way better if they would have just called their dad, but no, they didn't. So yeah, bad decision. Which at the end, they find out that the general told him not to call their dad, and they go at it against the general, and the general leaves the house and all that. But I really like the general. Like the general isn't like the most likable character, but he has a lot of good points. Like his reason for not telling the kids that he was Superman. He said like he saw what that caused to Lois. Like whenever he was in the army, he saw what that caused to Lois, and he didn't want it to be on his nephews. And that's a great point. And also this one, like obviously he doesn't want Superman to get distracted. He sees him more Superman than he sees him as Clark Kent. He had an amazing line where he was like, "You wanted to marry Clark Kent, but you didn't realize that you also had to marry Superman," or something like that. And that was a great line. It was. He's right. Superman is always gonna have a lot of responsibility. So yeah, it was very very cool, very interesting from his side of the thing. And he also starts like to think about what Luthor told him. I'm not sure how exactly. I'm not sure exactly what he was thinking, but he was looking at the thing. So I'm not sure if he was thinking of contacting him or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, he also has like all the kryptonite, and he does that to Superman. And once again, he has a good point for it. But he's like, I have kryptonite, and the only reason why I have it, according to him, is because he doesn't want anybody else to be able to use it against Superman. If he has to save the world, he doesn't want somebody to be able to steal it and then stop him. Great point. I'm sure he also has it to defend against Superman if he ever has to. But yeah, he has great points. And yeah, so then the thing with the powers is happens at the end. Superman takes care of it. Superman is in this episode as much as in the other episodes. It was more Clark Kent. Clark Kent being the coach of the team, which was kind of funny to see. I kind of find it funny to see him as the coach of a football team. And we start seeing, John still getting the short end of the stick after the sacrifice that he did and everything, and still in the football team. They don't really appreciate him. Because of Jordan. Jordan is taking all the attention with his superpowers and everything. And yeah, that was basically episode 4. Not my favorite, honestly. Uh, the most forgettable by far. I still liked it though. I still felt I was still interested, but it wasn't as good as the other ones. But yeah, now let's move on to episode 5, which I really love. So yeah. So episode 5 starts with like Superman and Clark Kent. I don't know why I call him Superman. Clark Kent and Lois and the whole family getting ready to give some stuff for Harvest Festival, uh, which is very nice. Harvest Festival was like a place to like give in the neighborhood, which yeah, very nice. Um, and yeah, Superman apparently or Clark Kent keeps talking about it a lot, and he's really excited about it, which is always nice to see. And Harvest Festival really has a lot of emotional weight to Clark Kent since it really reminds him of his mother, especially and you could see that connection in the first episode even for like the short time that there was. You see that connection, and in this episode they expand on it even more, and yeah, it was great. So yeah, it carries a really emotional weight for him in the Hearts Fest, so that was very nice for him, and you understand why why it really reminds you of him, especially throughout the whole episode. It was really focused on that, and I absolutely love that. Like it starts getting flashbacks on whenever Clark Kent wanted to leave the house and go to Metropolis, and whenever he had like his rebellious years with his mother, and how his mother sacrificed everything for him, and it just gave a great message. And it was very emotional, especially towards the end, whenever they make the bench for her, and it was really emotional. I didn't cry, but I definitely felt like the emotion inside it. You could definitely feel it. It was a great tribute to the mom, even though we didn't really see her in the show. It was a great tribute. The mom was a great person. She really was. She helped everybody. She sacrificed everything for Clark Kent, and to have it at the end of the episode with the bench. It was really good, really, really well done. I love that plot, and since that was the main plot, it really helps this episode a lot. I really love it. Now let's move on to another plot, which is the Morgan Edge plot. More people keep having powers. The in episodes before, there was like a mother that had lost her son, and they found her son now. He has like powers and whatever. So yeah, he has powers. I don't think he can also control them because like he keeps shooting lasers whenever he doesn't want to. So yeah, he definitely doesn't know how to control them. So and we found out that it's because of Morgan Edge. Like they have like this tube thing, and it's because of Morgan Edge. So yeah. Now with that same storyline with Lois, it gets a lot more interesting. They add like a little spice to it. I think it really helps this story, which is that Luthor actually meets Lois, and he's trying to get her to work together, which is super cool. I was like, "Ooh, this is getting very interesting. Very curious to see where this goes." Of course, this is the last episode, so I don't know where this is the last episode that I've seen since the ones haven't been released. So I actually don't know where this goes, and I'm very curious for it as of right now. But yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes. Lois and Luthor working together, that would be quite a combo. Especially, I think Lois is gonna realize that Luthor is a great guy, and then I don't know how it's gonna play out. To be honest, very hyped for it. But yeah, they add that extra spice, and then at the same time, John has had it. John had had it with getting the short end of the stick. He's mad. He's just done with it. And during Harvey's Fest, he drinks and he insults. No, he doesn't insult. He kind of like just makes fun of Jordan and what's her name, Sarah. Kind of makes Jordan and Sarah and all that. And Sarah's going through a hard time too. She's going through a hard time with her family. During the whole episodes, you've seen that they're not the best family. They're having their own problems. And so Sarah kind of like just screams at Jordan and at John, and John instantly feels like regret. But yeah, it was a nice plot. I was very happy that they got rid of John because throughout the episodes you saw like John was definitely like building up and building up and building up, bad thing after bad thing. Like in this episode, his girlfriend broke up with him whenever he was super happy that she was gonna come see him through phone or through yeah, it was through phone. And so there was that. The football team doesn't like him. And, well, they don't have anything against him, but like they don't. He's not the spotlight anymore. He doesn't. They don't really care about him. He's not popular anymore. He lost all his friends, and he did that out for his to sacrifice it for his brother, which has powers and is getting like the best life possible. So you really see like things start building up, and at some point it's obviously got to come out. And for it to come out in this episode, I was really worried to see how it was going to come out, how all that anger was going to come out. I was very happy that it came out like this. It feels very human. It's not something like, oh, now I'm gonna be a villain. No, it came out very nice. It was very human. They definitely handled it right, and it definitely had a lot of parallels to Clark Kent's storyline, with John wanting to leave the house and go back to Metropolis because there's his life, and Clark Kent whenever he wanted to leave the house to go to Metropolis. So it had like these very nice parallels that really added layer to both of the storylines, and yeah, I really loved it. And yep, at the end of the episode, we get another cliffhanger with Luthor, which is that Lois was his wife, I think, wife or girlfriend, but I'm pretty sure it was his wife in the other world, which is quite a plot twist. I don't know if Superman killed her in the other world. I'm not really sure. He said that whenever Lois goes, Clark Kent goes, or wherever Lois goes, Superman goes. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. Definitely a very interesting thing to play with. It could turn out really weird, but right now I'm very intrigued. They're definitely playing him being super close to Lois and him being the good guy very well, and I'm very curious and interested to see how this works out. So yeah, overall, I love this episode. It was a very nice episode. Oh, and I forgot to say, so yeah, Superman fights the guy with powers and he dies. Like the guy with powers dies. He like turns to like fire and dies. And I'm not really sure what's going on with him. To be honest, I'm not really sure what's going on with the people with powers because we had seen people with powers before in other episodes. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I did skip over a lot of big plots in other episodes just because I don't want it to be super long. But yeah, there was other people with powers in other episodes, so I am quite curious to see how these powers go because this person just like died. I don't know if it was like because he had too much power or I'm not even sure because nothing happened. He just died. I'm not sure how that works, but for sure, I'm interested in that. But I'm more intrigued in the Luther storyline, which is why I like that. That was the main hook that they tried to hook with. Um, yeah, I loved it. Ended on a very emotional moment with like the bench and Smallville honoring Martha Kent, which is very nice. I like I said, it really worked. I loved it. And then the cliffhanger with Luther and Lois being together in the other world, very much worked. So yeah, overall, I thought this episode was great. Loved it. Was it my favorite episode? No, maybe I'm not sure. For sure, I love the episode 2, episode 1, and episode 5 the most. They are so good. I love them. So yeah, I would have them even right now. Maybe I would have to rewatch them and be like, okay, maybe I like this one more, and I like this one more. But as right now, those are all great. I love all of them. Like I said, I really like all of them, but those are the 3 ones that I'm like, okay, those are really good. So yeah, that's why I'm really hyped for today's episode. I mean, to have 3 out of 5 episodes be awesome and the other 2 be good, this show is on a streak. So yeah, that's why I'm really excited to see episode 6 of Superman Lois. Definitely cover it tomorrow. Tomorrow you have a video of my breakdown on Superman Lois episode 6. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a special video or just a review or thoughts on Superman Lois episode 6, but definitely going to cover it. Hopefully it's really good, especially with the repetition of the other episodes. I can't wait to see it, like I said. So yeah, subscribe so you don't miss that video. Like this video if you like my review of these episodes, and leave a comment with your thoughts on Superman and Lois predictions. I'm really curious to see predictions and theories of what's gonna happen. So yeah, leave your comments with predictions or theories or thoughts on Superman and Lois, as well as thoughts on this video formatting. This time I didn't use a script, so that's why you can see like I kind of froze a little bit more, but at the same time I think it felt more natural for me. So yeah, tell me if you rather me reading from a script, which I don't look at the camera as much, but tell me if you rather me do the scripting, which comes a little bit more organized than this, or if you rather like this, which is a little bit more natural, but more frozen, not quite as organized type of thing. So yeah, tell me what you think of that down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hope you keep having a good rest of your day. Cheers, entertainment out.